Okay, so we did our introductions. It's our July staff meeting, and let's get started. So here's our newsletter. If you haven't seen it yet, it's kind of the end of July, so I hope you've seen it already. But the news on it is that we were expanding reminders for parents, events this month, water play day information, open door policy is back, which is very obvious. People are coming and they're spending a little too much time in your classroom sometimes when they drop off. So if you encounter that, please let me know. And I'll come and I'll kind of interject in the morning and make sure that they know that you have to work with your kids. You have almost 20 children in your classroom that you have to attend to. And if they want to speak further with you, we'd love to have a conference with them. And I kind of ruined the surprise of the super staff member, but we're going to keep going. Super staff member of the month of June. So remember, always a month behind. This person was just a superstar in June, not saying that they were the only superstar in June. It's very hard to choose. You guys are awesome. This person dives in wherever they're needed. They're a team player and collaborative with others. They can work in any group with a smile and great work ethic. They close rooms like a champ, and they're enthusiastic about being in a new adventure in the 3-year-old classroom and not afraid to get her hands dirty, which is a big deal when you work with kids. And that's congratulations to Miss Laurie. So yay, Miss Laurie. She will have her goodies in her cubby tomorrow and her certificate. I hope she hangs it up in front of the classroom. All right. So this is only some of the new people who are joining us. And we hope that they stay and love our school just like we do. So it's Chloe, Laura, Nicole, Tanisha, Donna, Linda, Heather. Oh, and that was it. I thought there was one more person. So these are the positions that they're taking at Sneaksburg Quality. There are some more people who are joining us at Holly Ridge Quality, and they've been hired. But I didn't put them on here because obviously this is for our school. I'm still unsure if we're going to do combined staff meetings, but it would definitely save me time to do that. All right. Reminders. These are pretty much said every time, but please make sure, especially as we're getting ready for a new school year, it's good practice to have. Lesson plans should be signed and approved before Monday morning. So they should be on your bulletin board, ready for Monday, because if you call out Monday, you're sick, you can't come in, your lesson plan should be there, so whoever's subbing for you knows exactly what they're doing. Menus and schedules should be posted before Monday mornings. You typically get them on Thursday and Fridays, so please make sure that they're posted up. Your schedules are your schedules. You're only changing them if they're seasonal or if you decide to alter things in your daily schedule, but you're usually sticking to the same schedule every day. Your whiteboard should always be up to date. And the class list, if you haven't done it recently, I know some of you have gotten some new students in your room, you're taping the list as you make a copy of your meal program and to the back of your whiteboard. That's why it's a good reference. You get full names. They don't have to be spelled incorrectly by flex teachers who come in and don't really know how to spell the last name. It's there for them on the whiteboard, which is very handy. Radio for administration when you're over ratio. Please don't yell it down the hallway or in front of parents. But I'll be there as soon as possible and we'll fix the problem within a minute if I can. Sometimes we have 7 people call out and I literally cannot fix the problem until the next person comes in, but that's very rare. Check and empty your mailboxes daily, please. There's still some things in there from 2 months ago in somebody's cubby. They will remain anonymous right now. Supply list should be turned in by Wednesday each week. And that's if you don't need something ordered. With your supply list, Amazon is great. It's like the best part of our future right now because things come to you instantly, but they don't sometimes come as instantly as you want them to come for your next week lesson. And I don't want your Monday lesson to be ruined because you don't have the things you needed for it. So if you know in 2 weeks you're going to do something very unique, please make sure that that order list gets to me before the Wednesday before, because you never know. With the supply chains now and things that are delivered, they could be delayed, even though that we've been getting them quite frequently and regularly. It surprises me the things that we've been getting, and then they tell me it'll be 3 weeks from now. So just keep in mind that orders take a while, but Brittany is fast. So if you have something for the supply closet, she'll get it to you. Reimbursements must be approved prior. Some of you want to buy certain things for your classroom. Sometimes they get approved, sometimes they don't. So just make sure that you ask ahead of time, either Joyce or myself. If you want to ask Ruby, that's fine. And then if Ruby's unsure, she'll ask us. But sometimes we have these things, or other classrooms have these things, and we can just grab them for you and you can use them for your lesson. Okay, the kitchen is just like entering a classroom. Please wash your hands before you touch anything in there. Fridges, things like that, you could be contaminating the surfaces. So just go wash your hands. If you're going into the storage area or laundry area, you don't have to wash your hands because you're not touching anything food related. If you're entering a classroom to help, I've seen this quite often lately, and it happens when we get that surge of teachers around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and everyone's kind of getting settled. We have a lot of drop-ins to other rooms, and people want to go say hi to their friends, which is fine and great, but then a little more than hi and talking about different things and going into the room, and you're not actually working with the students in there, you wind up distracting the teachers who are supposed to be supervising and caring for those kids. So just keep that in mind. Of course, go say hi to your friends. How are you? Good morning. That's awesome. I'm so happy you have friends at school. But just try to keep it short and sweet, just like we ask our parents to keep it short and sweet. All right. Some people were interested in retirement benefits, and Joyce and I were able to get through ADP, and it's through a simple IRA. Now, if you're not familiar with simple IRAs, I have a ton of information. I'm not going to bore everybody with it because if you're not interested, then I'm just going to waste your time. So if you are interested in this program, we're offering it. We do match 1%. I'll show you. We do match 1%. And I think it's after 2 years, you're eligible for that 1% match. And there's all these steps for you. There's a video that shows you how to register yourself through ADP. And I have a lot of paperwork if you choose to read through it. So you just have to let me know or Joyce know that you're interested, and I'll have little packets ready for you starting Monday of next week. So that's all the info there. If you want to read through this, I'll have the PowerPoint sent to you so you can go more in depth and click the links too if you're in the PowerPoint. They'll work. Like I could click this right now if I wanted to. Okay. So Joyce asked me to share the newly enrolled students. If you look here, we have some friends starting in different rooms, variety of age groups. They seem to all be starting August 1st. If you need clarification on the spelling of names or dates of birth, just ask Joyce. She's got her handy dandy enrollment list for you. Tips and tricks for classroom management. So these are just very quick tips and tricks. Never turn your back to students. You gotta get creative. If you're a hand washing station, like turn your whole body, wash your hands, talk to them. You're helping someone wash their hands, turn your body or turn your head. So you're still supervising. When you're supervising the kids, it's very important to make sure that you're physically and you're attentive to them. And it's difficult if you have to look at your tablet because you have to record attendance. Those things are gonna happen, of course. But if you fully turn your back and you're preoccupied for a number of minutes, you can expect some nonsense to be happening behind you. Every teacher should be working with students and engaging them in planned or free choice activities. There should never be a teacher in the room, regardless of their status, just chilling. No one should just be chilling, leaning, sitting, away from kids. If you had a long night, sit with kids, engage with them, and you're sitting, you're relaxing, but you're still working with them. And it's very important to see that because we want the expectation in the classroom to be that these kids are always engaged, they're always learning, and you're their educators. Because if you're babysitters, you go be babysitting at someone's house or at your house. So please keep that in mind. There should always be something going on. Free choice activities, you just join them. If they're building and you're asking them open-ended questions, you're helping them build their structure, you're listening to their ideas and helping them problem solve with each other. Shadow a student who needs a special eye on them and include them in real-time problem solving and social emotional learning. That's very similar to the second step curriculum that they use in the school age building. I was thinking about getting it for our main building because it has these mini lessons that help students really understand problem solving and social emotional understanding of like self-regulation, things that are important for them to learn. Get down to their level and listen to them. I've seen a lot of people getting down on their level, but we'll start lecturing or telling our kids what should have happened before we actually listen to what the problem was. Maybe their perception is completely different than what you witnessed. So you kind of have to start there and acknowledge what they perceive the problem to be, and then work with them and the other child, whoever is involved, to resolve it with them, and that they'll be able to do it independently the next time. Use an even and calm tone. Even if you're using big voices, they're not yelling voices. So if you're using your big voice, you're just making sure that you're projecting and you're heard, because you're meaning what you say and you say what you mean. And that's very important. If you're going to say something to children, and you have to mean it. So we can't just fluff our little things about what's going to happen if you don't do this, because it might not even happen. And that was brings us to two positive choices, making sure that you're going to say yes to the two things that you're given the options of. So you can do this, or you can do this. Miss Shannon would have said yes to either choice. And again, you're going to repeat those choices for them. If they say, no, I don't want to, no, I don't want to, you can say, okay, I'm going to give you a break. When you come back to me, then you can choose between these two things. And it stays consistent. You mean what you say, and you say what you mean every time, and you're using your big, even, calm tone voice. And after a while, with lots of practice, it should start to stick, that they know that you mean business. Children need to de-escalate before they're going to hear you. If someone's screaming and throwing a fit on the floor, they are not going to hear your two choices. So the best option you have is either to reassure them, I'm here when you're done. I'll be right here. It's okay. I'll be over here. However you de-escalate them. If you guide them over and they go willing to the cozy corner. If they have a favorite Pop-It toy and you say, do you want your Pop-It until you calm down, and then I can help you. And then you go and you work with other kids. And when they're ready, you come and you approach them, and they'll be able to hear you then and listen then, instead of when they're at a heightened sense, they have no idea what's going on. Okay, so painting the floors, oh my, we're getting ready. So and thank you to those who came in and did a ton of work painting. The rooms look fantastic. I know you worked extra hard because you had to go and put everything back the way it was prior. So it was a lot of work, and we say thank you very much, because without you, the rooms wouldn't be painted the way they are. It would be quarter way done right now. We have Mr. Williams coming in. He's going to finish painting the rest of the building, because next week we have flooring being put in starting August 5th. Very exciting. So room 1 and 2 will actually be carpeted. So they're not going to get the LVP hardwood type flooring, because a lot of parents have said, in room 2, they're waddlers and they're crawling. It seems a little dangerous being on tile. Hardwood or LVP would definitely be just as dangerous for their brains. So we're going to carpet it, and then we're going to try to figure out a way to keep the eating area a little more sanitary on the floor. And the kitchen is going to remain tiled as well. Okay. You know this checklist. If you're a closer, if you're an opener, it doesn't matter who you are, you should know this checklist, because it's what happens in the classrooms every evening. And then those who want to work on their classrooms and get this stuff done before your closer comes in, good for you. And restocking, that's a big thing. We have been noticing that the closers, now not every person, but whoever it might be, is forgetting toilet paper, paper towels, things that might be overlooked. So if you just refer to this list, it should be up in the classroom. If you don't see it up in the classroom, let us know. We'll get a one posted, and it'll be in those little laminated slips so that they can check it off with the dry erase marker and get it all done. Notice that the infant and toddler rooms do have additional items, so please make sure that those are also taken care of at the end of the day. And the she shed, I don't think it's been happening a lot lately, but in the first week and a half, there was trash left in the trash bin, and then it was left there over the weekend, and it really was stinky because it doesn't get AC over the weekend. So if you can make sure that if you're eating lunch in there and you clean up your mess, you make sure your surfaces are cleaned. We'll put a broom in there so you can sweep up your ground if you left crumbs on the floor. Just taking good care of it, because it's not anyone's assigned job. But if you are enjoying the space, then we ask that you take good care of the space. So thank you. Okay. This is here every time. These are live links. You can click them and get your trainings done. And that's why they're here. So if you get the PowerPoint, you go, oh man, I got to do my health and safety because I've been there for 5 years. It's right there. Okay, this is for Miss Ruby. Miss Ruby, you want to dive in?
Yes. So I've been helping everyone either apply for Teach, continue submitting things to Teach, and applying for college. Now, you guys have to keep in mind that we have over 30 employees. So the workload can get a little heavy. And all I'm asking is that you guys help me by keeping in contact with your career advisors and your scholarship counselors. Teach and your school are two separate entities. They do not work together if you haven't provided a way for them to communicate. You are the main source. When you're applying to Teach, just remembering that we determine what level of education you have. So if you're going to go for an associate, it's a bachelor's or master's. When I give you the application, I need you to complete every single section, because sometimes I'll go in and obviously I'll review your applications all the time, but like your income stuff, I don't know that information, and sometimes you guys leave that blank. So I'm having to like estimate what like general like national like income levels are to help you through that. I don't want to have to do that anymore. So if your application, I need you to please complete it completely. You'll get, once you get approved, you have a counselor. They will help you through the entire process as well. Obviously, they are part of the Teach program. They are better suited than I am. Obviously, I've done this so much that I have a groove. But when 10 people have one counselor and then 10 people have another counselor, or they finish their associates and now they're working on their bachelor's, their counselors change, I might miss something. So I'm asking that you please email your counselors as soon as they send you your contract, because some of you guys got contracts last time and you didn't sign them or submit them to me. So please be aware of those. And if once you get approved for Teach, if you never applied for college, they have no one to like give your course tuition to. So you have to apply for Teach, and you have to apply or register into a college. So two separate things that we need to take care of. That comes with having your high school transcripts, or having, I know I bother you guys a lot with the transcripts. You need transcripts for pretty much everything. But when you enroll into college, you need either your high school transcripts if it's your first time, or your college transcripts if you've been to a different university before. So it's always making sure that you're staying on top of your paperwork. Just because it makes it easier, we don't miss deadlines, because once we miss deadlines, we're in a rush, and I really don't want you guys losing your scholarship or getting dropped from your classes for fall semester and other ones. So that was just my little thing. If you have any questions, obviously I'm always there.
Thank you, Ms. Ruby. And again, this PowerPoint will be sent to you so you can go back and read Ms. Ruby's notes to you. Okay. So right before Ms. Jennifer jumps in, I want to talk about process versus product art. There's some confusion between the two, and that's understandable because unless you took a course on it or somebody modeled it for you, it's very difficult to understand what process art should look like. So there's a little short video I'm going to play for you, and then we'll go into the other components of Eckers and Itters. This is what they want to see when they come and look at your class, a lot of process art.
At UGRO, our art program allows children to express their individuality. Process art at UGRO allows children the freedom to be open-ended the freedom to choose how do they want to create a flower, how do they want to create a house. It is their own interpretation. Product art means we're providing a sample, we're giving guidance on what is first step, what's the second step. There's an end result for that. Process art, there's no end result for that. It is open-ended for a child. Parents can get involved with process versus product art at home by encouraging
Oh, sorry.
children to do their art their own way. How do they want to create a flower? How do they want to create a house? It is their own interpretation. If we tell children the house has a triangle roof and a square base, that's not allowing children to really go beyond the scheme of a house. And it's a balance between process and product art, because there are times when a teacher needs a step-by-step instruction to get an end product. But then there are many times that we want children to be authentic and to be original and to show their expression in their own way.
Okay. So process art, you're putting a ton of materials out for them, and you're kind of giving them a goal, something that they can do. And with the modalities you put in front of them, they're going to go for it. And whatever they create, that's their process. Now, it can take several days for their process art. If you're doing 3D art, maybe you're supplying them with the paper towel rolls, but then they have all these other items on the table that they can choose from to create what you want them to create. Maybe it's a butterfly, and all you're providing is the paper towel roll, some construction paper, and then every other tool that you have. It's more their process on creating the end product. It's individualized for them. And when you label with dictation and name, just don't put dates, because Miss Jennifer had a tip that they will see something from months ago, and what we should be doing is rotating monthly. Now you can keep stuff up as long as there's no date and it's beautiful artwork. Put it up in their room. They want to see a lot of process art. Your wall should be covered with beautiful artwork from your children, things that they're proud of. Maybe you do a dictation for everybody. This is what we believe a butterfly looks like, or like she said, a house. Maybe you made 3D homes. You're talking about communities, so they're building different buildings throughout the community. And then when the assessor asks you, well, when do you rotate your art? Well, we rotate it monthly. That's your answer. And then they go around and they're able to see who did it and what the child's able to talk about, because you put a little dictation there about their artwork. Okay, I'm not going to show you this video, but I want to tell you it's here. This is about art and math centers. And this woman goes through her whole center within art and math. It goes through the different manipulatives that she has, the way that she's labeled them, and how they're laid out. So it's something, if you're teaching an Eckers class or even an ITERS class, how things are organized and her thought behind each thing, it's very helpful. So she has a bunch of videos you can watch too. And this is about block centers. Some people have a difficult time understanding that a substantial structure, what it should be. So this gives you a good idea. And this is for NCR lab. So this is straight from North Carolina rated license assessment. Okay. And then, so the rest is for Miss Jennifer. I'm gonna stop my sharing so she can share hers.
All right. Well, thanks for having me tonight. So I'm sure you all know, I've spent lots of times in your room over the last couple months, like doing the post assessments to try to help get you guys ready for assessment. So, and one of the things that I noticed is that the interview questions were kind of a bit of a struggle. And that's because you don't really know what they're trying to ask you, right? They can be very confusing. So what I was going to do is just go through a good chunk of the interview questions and just kind of talk about like what they're really asking you and what this kind of means. I did kind of do some like generalized answers to just kind of go over, but you really want it to be specific to your center. Like, if they ask you a question of where your fine motor materials, if in my general answer says, oh, they're on top of the shelf, but you don't have anything on top of your shelf, you probably shouldn't say that. You should say wherever they are. But, oh, I can't share my screen. You have to enable it for me.
How do I let you share your screen? Let's see. Share.
Probably
Make a
one of
host.
the easiest.
Yes,
yeah.
make a host.